of applause for Diana. Unapologetic. I'm unapologetically a person of color. I'm unapologetically in love with music and medicine. And I'm unapologetically different. What makes me so proud of the work that all of us here tonight stand for is the work that our cohort has collectively done this past 3 years. And that makes us each accomplished individuals. I'd like to take you all on a journey, just like Diane, to talk about myself, because that's the only thing I really know how to do. And it reflects how important and helpful AAP and High Aims has been in the past 3 years of my UCLA undergraduate experience. 4 years ago, when I looked like I was 12 years old, and I was too young to probably be a first year here in college, I was a mentor with Dr. Kuo's Youth Empowerment Program. Dr. Alice Kuo is also one of the advisory board members here with Hines. I was a happy first year just mentoring underserved and at-risk youth at the Stoner Elementary School. Yes, that's a real elementary school. City government housing projects. And I got a flyer through the program saying, would you like to be interested in having pre-health mentoring for networking opportunities and for this guidance? And my immediate response was, heck yes. So I looked at the app, and it said that we needed a science letter of recommendation. Those are 4 dreaded words that a lot of us, I'm sure, empathize with looking at and realizing, oh wait, I probably don't have that at this current moment. I know we all empathize with each other when I say that it feels like you've won the lottery when you get a letter of rec from your chemistry 14A or your 14B professor in a class size full of 400 or more people. Needless to say, I wasn't that lucky. I got my letter from my lab TA at the time when I was taking my chemistry inorganic lab class in a class size full of 20 from the TA who barely knew me at the time. It was halfway through the quarter. I felt like I was shooting for a needle in a haystack. And I feel like this speech should be renamed from unapologetic to needle in a haystack because that's been the medium of my last 3 years. Once I joined High Aims though, doors started to open. I was a part, and I still am a part of the ARC clinical research program here at the Ronald Reagan Hospital. And in the following spring, I became a PLF, or a peer learning facilitator, through AAP. It felt like things were starting to work out, thanks to help from Dr. A and Emmanuel. I know I speak to my identity as an unapologetic person of color, pursuing a degree in medicine, because as I'm sure all of us are able to empathize with, it's not easy. Doors don't just open like that. And so when I initially asked Dr. A for help to become a PLF, I was applying to become a PLF for the Athletes PLF program, not for AAP at that time. His immediate reaction was so refreshing. Why stress applying for another PLF program when I could actively invest my time here at AAP, for the community that actually stood behind me and supported me through this program. AAP has been a home for me and has given me a chance to be myself. Teaching LS1 and now for quite a while LS2, I have had the time to kind of get the hang of what cell organelles exist in our body, or what hormones work to function in what way in our body. I'm pretty lucky in that way. Time and time again, Dr. A, Al, Axel, the AAP, and the High Aims staff have all had my back, including my cohort and my mentors. To Luz, to Tony, and to Adia, I thank you all so much for bringing me one step closer to my dream of becoming a physician. I'm unapologetically a musician just as much as I am an aspiring physician. Until I got advice from Dr. A, from Tony, and at the time Mark Tremo, which by the way all of you should consider taking his class. It's M103 taught in the spring quarter, it's music in the brain, and it obviously changed my life. He's the founder of the Music and Brain Institute in case any of you are curious. I genuinely encourage you all to look to this as a way to see that I was initially told by counselors in Murphy Hall that pursuing a double degree in music and a science major was not only something that hadn't been done before, but that it would be impossible to graduate on time. Today I'm standing in front of you graduating with both degrees from college honors from 2 separate colleges with 2 completely different majors. I have everyone in this room to thank you for that. Thank you so much. I'm unapologetically following my heart. My journey to all of this really began with a passion to connect with other people, whether that's through performance or through medicine. I've been constantly searching for that growth to really understand the people around me. And what makes the people around me so significant is not the fact that everyone is an individual or that they just stand by my side, but that we collectively come together in this community to bring towards something that we all achieve for. And that is the greater good. That's why we're all here pursuing a healthcare career. That's why we're in Hines. For any extroverts out there, I know we can empathize with the idea of being so driven to make so many new connections and to meet so many new faces. It's refreshing. What's really cool about High Ames is that it did that for me and for my dreams to become a doctor. Where else did I get to hear about all the different pathways about getting involved in healthcare, to meet all of you and your awesome smiles on our monthly Saturday morning meetings when we were all too sleepy to even look at each other, or to eat excessive amounts of cream cheese atop bagels as we purely listen to mentors from all around the SoCal community. This past year, I visited Dr. A's office at least 1 million times, and Al's office 1 million times more. Because I had help from High Ames, I got my transcript fixed, I got class advice, scheduling advice, life advice, pretty much advice on anything that you could possibly think you may need advice for. High Ames has been a foundation of knowledge and a fountain of knowledge that has left me unconditionally grateful and thankful for all of its support. Here's a little ode to the significant people that have come across my journey through High Ames over these past 3 years. To Emmanuel, thank you so much for putting up with my tardiness for every weekly timesheet. I know I've improved at least a little bit. To Ifeoma, thank you so much for your bright and amazing smile. You know how to keep me positive and motivated. To Axel, for your cheer and realism, it's always a refreshing constant in my changing growth since I joined High Ames 3 years ago. I still want to hear you perform sometime. This is also a low-key shout-out to see Axel perform sometime. If you see him, please let him know he is a very low-key performer. Doesn't mind to bring that up. He's very talented. To Al, I can't thank you enough times for all that you've done for me since beginning to deal with my roller coasters. My roller coaster of issues, sorry. As my one and only counselor. I can't count the number of times I've come into your office freaking out and left calm thanks to you. Your positivity and your sass are well received. We all need so much more of it in our lives. To Tony, our first-year mentor, thank you so much for dealing with our ridiculousness when Archana and I applied to FlexMed. We were way over our heads when you kept us going in what turned out to be one of the most difficult and challenging applications that I've done since coming to college. To Luz, our second-year mentor, thank you for grounding me and helping me to reprioritize my dreams and goals. I was lost last year when I felt like I was spread too thin, doing too many things, and not focusing enough on school. I'm proud that thanks to you, my grades this year turned out better. I'm focused on applying to medical school a week from today. To Adia, our mentor for this year, thank you so much for being my emotional support, for all of our emotional support, which we needed it the most. And I really mean that, we needed it the most. This year has been nothing short of a wake-up call and a realization that life is too short to be stuck in trying to fix every little thing. Thanks to you, here's my phone wallpaper. And it says, breathe in inspiration and trust yourself. The answer is, yes, you can. Thank you so much. To Fatia, thank you so much for being a friend when I frantically ran in and out of Dr. A's office those 1 million times. I'm sure I looked unquestionably flustered and you kept me calm every single time. To Tony, another Tony. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for me in our personally and academically linked journey here at UCLA. There aren't enough words to express my gratitude and love for your role in helping me to stand here today. To Oren, who also couldn't make it here tonight, thanks for putting up with me for an entire year as a first year when I was confused about myself before High Ames, before anything really. I'm grounded here today to know, and I'm comforted with that reassurance that the people I've met here in college are a foundation for what is going to be a lifelong journey. To Keanu, who is here today, who's sitting next to my other roommate, thank you for putting up with me for not 1 year, but for 2 years. I'm not really sure how you managed to do that. That's a lot of time to have to deal with me, and I'm so thankful that you're here tonight. I found not one, but 2 lifelong friends, and I'm sure we're all going to end up doing well together. To my current roommate, Pema, thank you for the biggest breath of fresh air that my apartment has seen since we all started living together. Just like High Ames, it's not about the people you meet and who they are just as individuals, but how we come together as a community. Both in this space, in this room, and in my apartment, I feel comfortable. And that's because I'm comforted by the fact that we're all staring at each other, well, really just me at this point. That's because I'm comforted to see that all of you have support. And you're giving me support by giving me your attention. To my cohort, thank you for all being amazingly sassy individuals with so much personality, enthusiasm, and realism. We all knew when it was midterm season, and we all know now that it is final season, and none of us are afraid to speak our minds. As I've been saying this entire speech, we are unapologetically ourselves. We're individualistic, and we're exploring different options and following our hearts to become healthcare professionals to serve the people around us. And to our families that kept us afloat, alive, and that actually gave us the breath of fresh air that started our entire life to begin with, thank you all. We're here because of you. Most importantly, to Dr. A, I can't thank you enough for grounding me and putting things in perspective every time that I doubted myself. In every sense of the word, you've been my friend, my mentor, and my confidant, who is undeniably an irreplaceable component of my success here at UCLA. I'm applying in a week thanks to your support. I'm graduating on time thanks to your belief. And for every time that I've asked you in a rush to write me a letter for the next award, or the next internship, or the next scholarship to some institution halfway across the country, or with some organization on campus, thank you for all of that. I absolutely owe my success to you. I'm unapologetically different. I'm giving this speech for the first and only time in its creation. That's why I'm probably looking down for most of it. We have so much to do as people, so much to see, and there's so many moments for us to grow from every imperfect experience. And in fact, that's what makes every experience worth it, for us together and for us as individuals. It's the fact that it's imperfect. I'm graduating, and I don't have a clue about how next year is going to turn out. Or in fact, I don't have a clue about how this summer is going to turn out. But that's what's cool about being unapologetic. It grounds us in knowing that we're comforted by ourselves and the community around us with that idea of uncertainty. That word carries such a strong connotation that can be taken either positively or negatively. Don't do what your best friend does because they're your best friend. Don't just take a class or pick a major just because the person next to you woke up one day and decided they wanted straight A's. Although, maybe that's not such a bad idea. Well, all of my jabber means can be accurately summarized by a series of quotes from my idol, the one and only Beyonce. A personal motivation for when I get up on stage to sing. As Beyonce says, I get nervous when I don't get nervous. If I'm nervous, I'm going to have a good show. A personal motivation for when I feel like I can't make it. When you love and accept yourself, when you know who really cares about you, and when you can learn from your mistakes, then you can stop caring about what people who don't know you think. And for my favorite, for the theme of everything I've been trying to say, if everything was perfect, you would never learn and you would never grow. Long live Queen Bee, I love all of you, Dr. A, High Ames, and to the people that will have to put up with me when I grow up, I'm absolutely excited and I'm unapologetic to meet you. Unapologetic. Thank you.